All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bristol Township Zoning Hearing Board, Part 2 this month. I'd like to get started by standing. Please remove your hats and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let me introduce you to a few people before we get started. Sitting in for our solicitor, Keith Bidleymeyer, is Cliff Bidleymeyer. Stenographer, Cindy Oliveira. Bo Fleming, Supervisor of Planning and Building. And I'm going to call the board. Colleen Dunn.
Here.
Gerard Lycon.
Here.
Jim McMahon here. All right, before we get started on the agenda, we have one bit of business we got to take care of. I'm going to read an email that our solicitor received from 7800 Bristol LLC. This is for the record. Dear Keith and Dawn, this is also emailed to Dawn Reagan, Bristol Township. Eastburn and Gray PC represents 7800 LLC, an above referenced application to Bristol Township Zoning Hearing Board. This application is currently scheduled to be heard by the Zoning Hearing Board on Monday, July 22nd, 2024. You will recall the application was last before the Zoning Hearing Board April 8th, but the hearing was not concluded. The hearing was continued until Zoning Hearing Board June meeting, and substantially upon request, the June hearing was continued to July. Incorrectly assumed that the matter would be placed on the Zoning Hearing Board July 8th meeting agenda. Unfortunately, I have conflict on the evening of July 22nd. I am scheduled to appear before the Warrington Township Zoning Hearing Board in a separate matter. Therefore, I write this request, a continuance on July 22nd hearing of 7800 Bristol application until public hearing in August. I understand Section 901, 1-2 of Pennsylvania Municipal Planning and Code of Bristol Township Zoning Ordinance requires zoning hearing to hold hearings within 60 days of the Zoning Hearing Board application being filed. Should you have any questions or require additional information, please contact me at above number Sean P. McShay. So what I need from the board is a motion for a continuance.
I'll give a motion to continue it to August.
I need a second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, let's get to the agenda. Number 1 on the agenda, Prime Contracting, 260 East County Line Road. Please come on up. Good, how are you? Do you have your mail-ins? Mail-ins? Mailings?
You want that now?
Yeah, please. You hand them to our solicitor, please.
Got them, and then I've also got the poster. Great, thank you. Yeah, my name's Bernie Stahl. S-T-A-U-B. Okay.
Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you. Thanks for hearing us tonight. Thanks for adding another meeting. We appreciate it. I know my client's getting a little antsy with me probably. We got a 3/4 of the way finished job. I'm a contractor. I'm doing some work with Mr. and Mrs. Matthews on their house. We did some siding, roofing work. We decided we wanted to do an open pergola at their front entrance. To get to the size that makes sense, we're about 4 foot infringing onto the the setback.
Right.
Okay, so we're about 4 foot too long to make it make sense for us. We feel that the structure being open and pergola style, it's got a nice cathedral ceiling that I do have pictures of that I could give you guys of what we kind of based it off of. We'd like to try to get a variance to get that extra footage closer to the road. Their property line, I don't know if they're all the same in this township, but their property line is off the back of their sidewalk. So from there to the curb, they got another 7 feet. There's a picture in there from the street that kind of shows. I think it would look really nice. It would add to their enjoyment of their house, being able to come in through the rain, snow, everything like that. And, you know, again, the open nature of it, I think, rather than a closed room being infringing that far, I think would be really nice. That's really all we have. We feel like it's a pretty simple request. It'd be a nice add-on for the house. It'd be a nice add-on for the neighborhood, and the curb appeal will be good for everyone.
You said you have a picture?
Yeah.
A picture of what we're looking to do? Yeah, absolutely. I actually got one for everybody.
I'll send it down.
Similar style to that, is what we're looking to do. There is an existing cement patio that we'd be on top of, so that's already there.
Anybody from the board have any questions? Are you done with your presentation?
Yeah.
Did you already complete this work?
No,
No, you said you were working on stuff, I just wanted to make sure
we
that-
did the siding, 3 sides of the house, and we finished the roofing on the existing house.
Thank you.
All right, so you say it's a pergola, right?
Yeah.
So, just going by this picture, it looks like the roof's enclosed. Correct me if I'm wrong, a pergola roof is open,
The sides are all open.
not the roof part of it.
Not necessarily, no. The sides of the roofing could be closed. No, the roof itself is a closed area, the pergola being the entranceway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's enclosed and shingled, though. It will be enclosed and shingled.
Anybody have any else have any questions? Bill, you got anything to add? Okay. Anybody from the audience like to come up for or against this application? Okay. I need a motion from the board for or deny.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Call the board. Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Gerard Lakon.
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. All right, there you go.
Congratulations.
All right,
you.
thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, next on the agenda, Delaware Valley Cat Retreat, 1618 Manning Boulevard, Levittown. We received this applications posting, or our solicitor received them via email, so you may proceed whenever you're ready.
Thank you and good evening. For the record, my name is David Sowerbutts, Sowerbutts. I'm an attorney. I'm here this evening representing the applicant, Delaware Valley Cat Retreat, Inc. Delaware Valley Cat Retreat, Inc. is a IRS-approved 501c3 charitable organization that has also received charitable exemption status from the Bucks County Board of Assessment, and the organization operates a cat retreat. It is not a kennel, it's not a boarding house, it's not an adoption agency, it is a retreat. The organization takes in cats, takes care of them, fixes them up, keeps them well and healthy, and they stay there for the rest of their lives. It's a very unique use. It's funded entirely by the generosity of Mr. Brad Picard, who owns the industrial park and the building where this charitable organization is located. Mr. Picard has taken steps to ensure continuity into the indefinite future by generously setting up his estate planning to make sure that there will always be more than sufficient funding for this organization to continue. And to ensure the longevity, we are now in the process of establishing a valid board of directors, which is comprised of myself, the veterinarian who takes care of all the animals, and local businessmen, and of course, Mr. Picard. If you drive by, it looks like any other building in the industrial park. There's nothing whatsoever that distinguishes the use. There's no noise, there's no odor, and given the status of strays, not only in Bristol Township, but all throughout Bucks County, part of my argument is that this provides a very important service, because one of the things that this organization does is take in strays. And if people become ill, people pass away, people move for whatever reason, they can no longer maintain their pets, this organization will take them in and give them a home. You'll hear from Mr. Picard that the level of care is extraordinarily high. They make their own food, they have a kitchen, they have a full-time manager, they have a staff of volunteers, the building is kept spotless, and the interior has been reconfigured specifically to house cats. The older cats are kept aside, the injured cats are kept aside, there's a general population. There's even volunteers that come in for the sole purpose of petting the cats and giving them affection. So this is a very unique use. Again, we don't think there's another use like this anywhere in Bucks County. We're not sure there is in Montgomery County or across the river in New Jersey either that we're aware of. I don't know about Philly. Philly's pretty big. So what we're here tonight is to request relief for the continued use in its present form. The industrial park is located, as the code enforcement officer's letter indicates, in an M2 district, and the M2 uses do not specifically include a charitable cat shelter. My final comment before I ask Mr. Picard to testify to confirm what I'm saying, I went through the zoning code, and the closest analogous use that I could find was in the C commercial district for a commercial kennel. This is not commercial, and it is fundamentally different than a kennel, which implies more short-term, people boarding their pets when they go away, people boarding their animals for breeding. They come, they take them back. And this is not an adoption agency where, again, the idea is you keep the animals for a period of time, nobody adopts them, you euthanize them. This is not like a kennel. It is really a unique use, and I could not find an exact counterpart for a charitable cat retreat within the zoning code. So with that, I would like to call my first witness, Mr. Brad Picard. You have to be sworn in.
Could you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Can you spell your last name, sir?
P-I-C-A-R-D.
First name, Brad.
Excuse me.
Is it Brad?
Bradford.
Brad.
Bradford. Okay, Mr. Picard, if you could stand here, keep your voice up, and speak into the microphone. Thank you.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Miss,
Just don't put them too close to each other.
yeah,
You use that one.
Turn this into a comedy routine before we're done.
Mr. Picard, did you hear my explanation to the zoning board of your charitable organization?
Yes,
Was it accurate?
yes,
Are you the owner of the industrial park where this cat retreat is located?
I own the property.
And how long have you owned the property for? Since when?
We moved in 1994.
When did you first start housing and taking in stray animals to help them?
When we moved in,
Back in 1994?
yes.
And at some point, did you formalize your operation and form the existing corporate entity?
On a advice of my accountant, yes, in 2015, he recommended we become a charity.
And is that when you also applied for 501c3 status with the IRS?
Yes,
And more recently, did we appeal to the Bucks County Board of Assessment for tax exempt status as a charity as well?
yes,
And was that granted by the Bucks County Board of Assessment?
yes, it was.
Can you describe for the board, and please give the board a summary of what your organization does?
Say that again?
Can you please give a summary of what your organization does? What service does your organization provide? What does the organization do?
Well, we're not allowed to trap off the property, but people dump cats in the industrial park all the time, and we cash them on the property. We take them to the vet, we get them healthy. They usually have fleas and ticks, a number of different ailments. When we get them straightened out, then we put them in general population if they're healthy. If they have an issue, we have specific areas of the building for specific problems, and they're there for life. Most of the cats are older. They've been thrown out, or people moved and they threw the animals out, or they just dump them in the industrial park. And if you take them to the SPCA, they usually put them down because nobody wants to adopt an older animal. So we give them a place to live.
And approximately how many cats do you house at this time?
Right about 100.
Okay. How big is the building?
It's 5,000 square feet. It's only 100. They're like potato chips.
So I do want to point out for the board that this is not like the crazy cat lady with 20 cats in her bathroom in her apartment. It's 5,000 square feet. And is this pretty much the upper limit of what is comfortable for your organization?
Yeah, cats are territorial. You can't put them too close together. You run into problems. So the building is sized comfortably for about 100 cats.
And have you made modifications to the interior that are cat-specific?
We have some pictures for you. We have a kitchen, we have an infirmary, we have a geriatric ward, we have a senior cage, which is probably half the size of this room for the older cats. They're non-aggressive. Yeah, the younger cats like to chase the old cats around because it's fun, and the old cats just want to live their days out, so they stay in there. And then we have general pop. So, yeah, and they have TV all the time and stuff. Like, you really want to die and go there. Trust me.
So there's separate areas inside for the cats to sleep. Describe what the sleeping arrangements are briefly.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Okay, fair enough. All right. There is a central area that's a series of ramps that you built, and this to accommodate what cats like to do, climb and explore.
The building is a cinder block industrial building. It's got bar joists. We have ramps up in the bar joists, and they have relay races up there running around on the roof. There's ramps going up and down. They own the building. And the building is for them. They're not in cages. They own the place. It's like them living in your house, only this is their house.
Okay. And is there any, if you drive by the building, do you have any way of knowing what's inside if you just drive by and look?
No.
Is there, obviously, I have to ask these questions, is there a noise issue? Is there an odor issue?
No.
And is there a specific veterinarian who takes care of your animals at this time?
Yeah, Dr. Patel.
And is Dr. Patel here this evening to testify on your behalf?
Yes, he was sitting next to me.
And
He's still there. He didn't leave.
now, the building, your services are operated by a full-time manager.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And what is his name?
Mary.
Okay. And that's a full-time job for him?
Murray?
How do you spell that?
Mary. It's a she.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mary.
I thought it was a man. I apologize. And is that a full-time, 40-hour-a-week position?
No, it's about 4 or 5 hours a day, making sure the other volunteers do their work properly. And then we have a couple more people to come in later and give out medicine and treats and stuff like that.
And you also have volunteers?
They're all volunteers,
And about how many volunteers are there at this time that help you?
5, 6,
Okay. And are 2 of the volunteers here tonight also to support you?
yes.
Now, also with us tonight is an adjoining property owner. Who is that individual? There's an adjoining property owner who's also here?
Armando,
And what is Amando's last name?
excuse me?
What is his last name?
Bettino?
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
And there's also a nearby property owner who's also on the board of directors. Could you please tell?
That's Jim Dunn, the gentleman sitting over there?
And his wife is with him also, who is
Yes.
also a volunteer?
Yes.
Um,
Becky?
Now, have you taken steps through your estate planning to ensure that there will be more than sufficient funds to continue to operate this charity into the indefinite future?
How? Yes.
Okay, besides the property that owns the industrial park, do you also own and operate a separate business that it has an office at the industrial park?
I'm sorry, it has an office where?
At the industrial park?
My other company owns a couple of buildings that are rented out, and it's in my will that when I die, they go to the cats.
And you also have a business, a wholesale business?
Yes.
And again, your estate planning was designed to make sure that there would be enough money to continue to fund the charity?
Yes.
Do you know of any other organization that does exactly what you do anywhere within the area?
No.
Would you say it's true that most organizations that take animals in, if they're not adopted out in sufficient time, they euthanize the animals?
That's a dying trend, but yeah, it still happens.
Okay. As far as you know, do you comply with any state standards for operating this type of facility?
The state has inspected my property, and she walked in, and her name is Nikki. She didn't want to come tonight because she can only testify as to the level of the state. And she says, you're so far above it, it wouldn't be fair for me to testify about what you actually do. I can only say that you surpass the law. And the law is really terrible. It's like, do you have a roof over your head? Do they have food and water? That's about it. That's what the protection they get from the state. And we're so far beyond that, it's ridiculous.
So you have never received any citations for improper care?
No.
Or improperly housing the animals?
No.
And the woman who came through and inspected, she was the police officer for the Humane Society?
Yes, she was.
And there were no citations, there was no corrective action that you were required to take?
No.
And what is it that you're asking the board to do this evening?
Let us keep operating. The oil company that I own used to be in the building. I sell lube oil, and used to be in the building, and the building used to be full of tanks with cats. And we bought another building. We moved the tanks down to the other building slowly, and the cats stayed, and the tanks went down there. So it just morphed into what it is. It wasn't intentional. It just happened.
Okay. Now, I have in my hand a series of pictures. I'm going to defer entering these into the record for the moment. I believe that I can exhibit these to the board without entering them into the record for the board's edification. And with your permission, I will ask my client, Mr. Picard, are you familiar with all these pictures you see me holding in my hand?
Yeah, I took most of them.
Okay, and do they fairly and accurately depict what is shown in the pictures?
Yeah, there's little sayings on the back to help explain it, but we could probably put another 15 pictures in there to get the full picture, but it gives you a pretty good idea.
Okay, and are these pictures accurate? Do they accurately portray what's shown in the pictures? It's a
Unless
legal,
your eyes lie, yeah.
okay, it's a legal question that we're required to
Okay, yes.
ask, okay? May I approach and? Thank you. There are, as Mr. Picard testified, some notations on the back that give you a little bit of an idea of what's being shown in the pictures. Not the typical zoning board hearing.
Who's got the one with the, how many cats are in the picture? That's what I want to get.
Right. We've heard that question before. I've been in the building, and yeah, it's pretty well run. So I'm assuming the board gets these kind of requests all the time. This is a very typical request. And pigeons. All right, thank you. Please just let the record reflect that a series of photographs depicting the interior of the cat retreat was exhibited to the board for them to review, but not entered into the record. And just to keep the record complete, thank you very much. Does the board have any questions about anything they saw in any of the pictures?
Any questions? No.
Of course I have a question.
Comments, concerns?
Yes, Brad, you said you got about 100 cats?
Yes.
How do you know their names?
We have about
Kitty,
30
kitty?
tan ones, and they all look alike, because they're all in the same, and that's really tough. That's why they were in that picture. How many cats are in this picture?
Yeah.
You can't tell them apart. But we probably know,
Kitty, kitty?
yeah. Actually, when they were kittens, we were taking them to the vet, we were numbering their ears, because they all look alike. But we know most of them. We probably have about 15% of the cats that are feral. They want nothing to do with people. They've been abused. And the rest of them are super friendly. You go over there, and anybody's welcome with a phone call to come over and go through the place anytime. And they'll sit on your shoulder and walk around with you. They're spoiled.
Gerard loves that kind of stuff.
Come on over.
Thank you.
I have just maybe one or two other questions, and then Mr. Picard, do you feel that your organization provides a benefit or a service to the community?
Yes, I mean, I've seen articles written up about, there's a colony of cats behind the Burger King down there, and they want to poison them and all this kind of stuff. Like these people, that's just wrong. And I don't subscribe to things like that. So, and that's a problem for those people. And we don't have that in our neighborhood. We got Brad.
Now, how would you classify your organization? Would you classify this as a kennel?
No.
Why not? Briefly, why would you not classify it as a kennel?
In my mind, the kennel has cages. There's no cages here. The senior cage is half the size of this room. We have cages in the infirmary when they're medicated. Okay, but other than that, it's open reign, or we call it general pop, like a prison. You got population. Come over and take a look at it. The pictures tell the story.
And is there any profit that is made from the operation of this business?
No.
Do you take any money in yourself in any way or form?
No.
And are you the benefactor for the business?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have for my witness. Thank you.
Okay, anybody from the board have any questions? I have, in your passing, God forbid, that doesn't happen for a long time, you have a board of directors, right? The board of directors will, and your will is gonna take care of the cats from here, after your
My
passing?
rental properties are sufficient to support this place plus.
Okay,
The principal, they'll live off the interest, the principal will grow. So as inflation 50 years from now, they'll still be fine.
and so in your passing, will there be another board of directors to take Brad's place, or?
May I respond to that?
Absolutely.
Thank you, because I've been instrumental in getting the board of directors set up. We've drafted bylaws, and the answer is yes. The bylaws provide for continuity with the board members. There's going to be a specific provision in the bylaws, which is standard, for replacement of members as members come in and go out. And the size of the board can also change. There's no plans at the present time to expand into other buildings and, add another level. The plan is to keep it the way that it is and to preserve the principal from the inheritance, as Mr. Picard just said, so that the interest and the dividends are sufficient to pay all the operating expenses. I mean, there's no taxes, so there's insurance, maintenance, food, a water bill, an electric bill.
Vet bill.
The vet bill, the interest will be sufficient to cover all this.
So in his passing, there's no way possible that these board of directors can dissolve this cat retreat in any way, shape, or form.
That's actually an excellent question. So there's always a way to do that under state law. You never know what the future holds. Anything could happen. God forbid there could be some catastrophic event that happens in that part of Bucks County. So there has to be a way to always do that. But the stated intent in the bylaws is for this to be perpetual and to just keep going and to always be able to replenish. I can say that we didn't have any problem finding people to serve on the board.
Okay.
It is a unique organization that provides a vital service, and there are a lot of people that want to support it. So this is purely my opinion, but I don't think they're ever going to have a problem filling the board.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions? Comments, concerns? No? Anything to add? Okay, anybody from the audience like to come up for or against this application?
I'm for it.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys don't count, sorry.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I definitely put a motion for it.
I need a second.
I'll second.
I'm going to call the board. Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady. We really, really appreciate this. And for the support of the rest of the audience, thank you. Good luck to all of you this evening. Thank you again.
Very nice you do that.
Thank you.
get sworn in, and then we'll take it from there, all right?
Yeah.
Can you raise your right hand, please?
Sure.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Can you spell your name, please?
Utkarsh Parvik,
Spell, please.
U formula, T
T.
K A R S H, Parvik, Parikh.
Okay. Is the green light on?
Yes,
Okay, make sure you speak in the microphone and
Yes.
speak slowly, please.
yes.
All right, Gerard, what time were you at that property today?
I was there about 2:15. I was there about 2:15. I drove up and, it's Mike's Deli, right?
Yes,
I drove back and forth. I didn't see nothing. I drove in your back lot where the gate's all smashed up. I drove around by that shed, looked to see if it was on the side. I didn't see anything.
yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't there in the property for the last 4 or 5 days, so I wasn't sure. what
It's not there.
happened. Okay.
So, go ahead, Cliff.
I think that there's an issue with the posting notice. Sure. I believe that there's an issue with the posting notice. It's required to be posted for 2 days. My understanding is that it has been posted for, or, strike that, 2 weeks. And it has been posted for the complete 2 weeks.
Okay.
And today, in fact, today, it wasn't up. So I believe there's a posting issue that needs to be rectified. I also believe that the notices that were sent to the other adjoining property owners pursuant to code is not satisfied due to the fact that you don't have the letter that was actually sent to them advising them as to what was going on and why you were sending them a letter. So I don't believe that your advertisement nor your posting is appropriate and consistent with the code for the Township of Bristol. Therefore, I believe that your application today is at least premature. I believe that there has to be the appropriate advertisement and appropriate posting, and then with the consideration of the board, if they relist it, you bring those documents and you bring photographs that demonstrate that it's been posted properly and that it's been noticed properly to the adjoining property owners as required by code. And then you bring your application at that point, if the board considers that.
Okay. I mean, if you give us some more time, we can rectify what went wrong.
Do you understand what he just laid out for you? Do you know exactly what you need to do to, if we give you a continuance on this, then are you 100% sure you know exactly what has to be done to get to that point? Or?
Yeah, I would like, yeah.
Okay, so you are looking to get a continuance to next month? Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to do?
that's fine.
Fine, okay. All right. All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Can I ask Bo a question?
Sure.
Bo, do you know how many are on the agenda for August already? I don't. I think August might, we just added another.
Can you pull your mic down, because it's hard hearing you.
Well, we definitely know we have 7800 Bristol LLC, at least we think so. I mean,
We're just getting close to the timeline, because it is the 22nd, and I believe it's the 12th for the next one.
so you might
we're
need till
kinda close.
September. Yeah, I forgot, this is the second meeting, so it's later in the month.
Can I ask the gentleman a question?
I don't think at this time it's
Okay.
appropriate to ask Mr. Parikh a question.
Colleen, I do not know how many are on as of now.
So, what Colleen's referencing is, today's the 22nd of July. You need a certain amount of time,
Give me as much as time. I mean, the
So-
time is not problem.
September.
Yep.
Okay. So September it is. If with the pleasure of the board, I need a motion to approve a continuance on this application or deny it.
I'm gonna make a motion to deny the application.
I'll second it.
All right. So Cliff, I think I need your help on this one here. No, it is what it is. I mean, I don't think this has ever happened before, so.
My only concern would be is he could refile. I mean, maybe that's the appropriate way to do it, is just have him refile, deny the continuance request, have him file another petition, and do depending on the pleasure of the board, what I believe is that pursuant to the Bristol Township Code, which is found online, that needs to be complied with, which was section 205-109 regarding hearings, and the advertisement and postings that need to be accomplished pursuant to that
Yes.
code. If the board decides to deny your application due to the fact that there was inappropriate posting and inappropriate advertisement, then you would potentially be able to bring another application.
Yes,
But the board would have to, you would have to make sure that you comply with all of these requirements when you refiled at some point in the future,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, definitely.
Anything, Bo? Okay, well, that's, okay, so, well, we have a motion on the floor to deny the continuance, so you're gonna have to reapply with the township,
Yeah, definitely.
and then, you'll take it from there.
Okay,
All right,
no problem.
I'm gonna
Thank
call
you.
the board, Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. All right, there you go. All right, thank you.
Sir? Sir?
Sir,
Sir? These are yours, sir.
anybody here that's for 203 State Road, that's about the extent of it. He's gonna have to refile, and at a later date, he'll have to come back in front of us, all right?
And then, can I ask, would we have to be re-notified if any of us?
Absolutely, you will. Yes, you
Because
will.
many of us were not notified.
Well,
at all.
that's where the problem lies, right there. You guys were not. He has to notify a certain
Right,
amount of people. So if you don't live in that certain,
I'm on that street. and I
Okay.
haven't- I haven't
then yes,
found my certified
then yes,
letter.
he did not send
You'll
out,
see the sign, it'll be posted.
right. And he has to send you a letter also, certified mail.
Thank you.
Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Or they're gonna have to sign a waiver.
right. All right, the last on the agenda, Michael and Mariana Kasharai, 108 East Village Road, Holland. Please come on up. Yeah, yeah.
Michael.
Right hand, please.
Sure.
Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God.
Yes, I do.
You have your posting, sir.
Yes, sir. May I approach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
You have a photograph of the posting.
Yeah, it's been, yeah. I have actually on a presentation, it's posted as recommended per ordinance, more than 2 weeks in advance.
We have two eyewitnesses, so. Okay, you may proceed.
Again, my name is,
Just use the mic. If you have to hold it, you can, or can you?
no, that's fine, I can, my name is Michael Katcharai, and I represent a company called Stallmid International, who's actually the owner of this property at 3915 Veterans Highway. We purchased the property about 2 years ago with the idea of establishing a grocery/produce store. And again, the intent was to sell fresh produce, sourcing it from Lancaster County, groceries, maybe some European, some Middle Eastern, just a variety of different items that are not normally sold in the area. And for that, of course, this place previously owned by the Georgines, I forget the name of the previous owner, but anyway, Mike, the owner of the Georgines, and there was actually the restaurant. So I was under impression that for us to operate the business, what I just described, would be okay to place items to be sold on the outside of the property, or outside of the building. But as it appears, we need to have the variance to be able to store, sell items on the outside of the building. So in this case, for example, we are planning to sell flowers and plants, variety of seasonal plants and so forth, which normally would require watering and many other things to care for them to be sold. Also, items like mulch or topsoil, things like that, same thing, you cannot really keep it inside the building. So excess, let's say, inventory as well. So we need room to be able to really accommodate the volume of products to be properly sold in this business. So for that, again, I'm here today to request the variance. If you could advance this slide, please. So my goal is, again, to use your permission to utilize the designated areas around the property to be able to post sales signs. Those would be the signs, temporary signs, to advise customers of some promotions, to advise of price change, or whatever the case might be, to allow for up-to-date information for customers. That would be also intended for cars or potential customers driving by and so forth. So for that, we install this kind of antique item, a wagon, with the idea to put some signs that could be visible from the street. Again, these are temporary signs. They would be attached accordingly to the requirements and would change on a regular basis, would be changed. So that is one. And the second one is the erection of certain items that would not normally be on the property, like the canopies, as you can see right there, as well as the temporary tents. These also will vary and change in size depending on the items that we will be planning to sell on a particular time of the year. So for example, right now we have put up the, let's say, flowers out there and plants. Coming September would be maybe watermelons. We'll bring some the more seasonal, for example, for the Halloween, the pumpkins and you name it. So that is basically the plan, to have those items stored outside. And the area that would be actually utilized for that purpose will only the area in front of the building. That is, we calculated about 6 parking spaces that would be occupied, and that would allow easy access and to the property, as well as the being able for traffic to leave the property in an efficient way. We have more than, if you can advance the slide, please. So these, as I pointed out there, so we have those 6 spaces in front of the building. The area would be used for sale of those items that I already mentioned. The remaining parking spaces would be readily available. So altogether, we have 35 spaces on both sides of the building. So that would allow for us to really accommodate the customer flow and allow the ability to have this designated area for a specific purpose. So that's in regards to the parking. Please advance to the next slide. As far as the storage of products, so of course, the sale of products is also considered storage of products on the outside. But also, as I mentioned earlier, we have, let's say, excess of inventory that we need to store somewhere. So we have the area in the back of the property, which is against the fence, as you can see, the white fence right there, which is not blocking the flow of traffic and which is allowing for sufficient distance from the parking spaces. And that would be the area where we would keep, for example, the pallets with topsoil and you name it. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the specific location of the property. So it's right there around the corner, Veterans Highway, and really allowing a lot of opportunities for us to capture traffic going by. And that is really intent for us to really have ability to access the potential customer base via putting the signs, putting the products, which is already advertising of its own, like flowers and plants and hanging baskets and you name it. So that is, in its entirety, really allowing the opportunity for us to, as I say it, beautify the township, or beautify the world in its essence, because we've seen from what we've been allowed to do thus far that people really enjoy coming by, picking plants, quality plants, because as I mentioned already, we're bringing products from Lancaster County and directly from the farmers. So additionally, we intend to bring hopefully organic products at the reasonable price. Similarly, we'll have produce sourced from that area in the long term. So that is allowing the opportunity for our customers from this community to buy produce at more economical price level, comparing to other, let's say, stores in the area, whether it's Giant or R&R or whatever, other retailers in this specific area. So please advance to the next slide. Again, regarding those signs, we have a couple areas. We don't want to really clog the area, but is what I mentioned about this wagon. So this may be modified a little bit depending on the angle, how we would like to target, the potential customer's eyes. So that is one area in the front, which used to be a front lawn. Let's say just call it front lawn or frontage of the property, but also in the back, there is a nice angle where the cars are going in a circular way around the building. So it's a good angle for us to really put some maybe potential sales, promotional sales and so forth. So that we thought of this particular angle, and we think is really good for us in terms of advertising. So that these two areas that we are requesting to have the variance on. But other than that, we don't intend to put anything else on the parking spaces or anywhere else around the property to really inconvenience customers or create more hazardous environment as it is right now. And again, overall goal for this is to create a much better customer experience. For example, the canopies and things like that is really allowing not only for visibility, but also for the plants to remain, off the sun for a longer period of time. Same thing, more intuitive for customers to walk around and feel, check plants out, and really talk to us. Because our goal to really have the sales take place not only in the building but also the outside. It's more conducive to business as we see it, specifically for small businesses like us. Please advance to the next slide. So as far as these structures are concerned, I mean, they will be properly anchored. They will be attached as recommended by the ordinance, and the area will be safe and free of unnecessary items aside of this frontage as I already described. Please advance to the next slide. Just a few reasons why we believe you should approve this variance is, of course, is essential for us as a business to store items outside, what I've already described briefly, but also these larger items that we potentially will be purchasing for resale will need space. And of course, those areas, as I mentioned in the back, will allow us to store, and of course, selling in the front of the building itself works in a way for us to be able to reach closer to the customer, as well as to capture additional potential customers going forward. Temporary signs, of course, advertising, we don't intend to do many, let's say, advertising on TV or anything like that, maybe in local paper and so forth, but mostly word of mouth and really putting the signs out, because we believe we have a very interesting location that allows for a lot of traffic. And people usually glance to the right, because on the left, there is no neighbors. On the left, it's usually when I mean on the right, it's when you're driving. So it's a turnpike. So that is a good angle where we think will be a good traffic in terms of really putting the right signs so customers can come by and shop. And tents, like we had a very hot summer this year and so forth, that is in a way a bit of a retreat for the plants. We've seen some plants, we actually bring plants that don't require a lot of sun, or house plants and things like that. So it allows for more opportunity for us to keep them outside, but also gives the much needed shade and ability to advertise what we have in stock. And what I mentioned earlier about season change, so we have plants starting early in the spring, then heading into the summer, then the fall comes around, we have from corn to pumpkins and then Christmas trees, things like that. Things will be changing depending on the season. So please advance to the next slide. Just again, in terms of compliance, when I first started looking into this business, and I am very much familiar with this area, I used to work for GlaxoSmithKline as pharma rep. So I know a lot of doctors in this area, like Dr. Kepko, Dr. Hidalgo, and many others. I know this place from a long time ago, because they've been around for many years. So I thought, having a business like this, really, it's automatically, you get to put the signs out like this. So as you can see, it's a busy frontage for this business. But it appears, I need this approval, your support to really get this going. So in a way that really is safe, first, primarily, it also allowed the opportunity for us to conduct business long-term. So that is basically it. Please advance. So that's some information that I was shared with you in terms of location, neighboring, and of course the aerial view of the property.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, please. I'm not an expert, as I said. My experience is in different matters, but as of 2 years ago, I'm kind of planning, looking into the next 10 years of my life, family life. So we structured this as a family business.
So the stuff you store outside, that you're planning on storing outside, does that stay outside all night? Or
It does. Flowers, it's really, I was surprised because originally when we purchased the property, we had a lot of drug dealers in the back, people doing drugs, doing whatever in the back of the property, but nobody stole anything.
Right. Okay.
I was so surprised, and to me, again, our intent to really employ folks from local community. As I said, I'm very much familiar with the area, and I'm hoping we can also bring value by allowing people to shop in a friendly environment and a safe environment, like I've just described.
So, on your property, is there some sort of pizza oven or incinerator or some kind of?
No, on the property, thank you, good question. I purchased, as I said, we purchased a property from Georgine's, and they had a smoker inside. So this is a smoker.
Okay.
So I put it for sale. I'm trying to sell it because it's an expensive item. It runs for about $50,000 when it's new. So it's been used, but it's operational. So we keep it outside in the back of the property.
Okay.
Because there is no need to keep it inside. I mean, there is no point of keeping it inside. But it will go away. As I said, I already spoken to Mr. McTague and the team here, because my goal is to sell. If we don't sell, we just probably have to take it to the junkyard.
Okay. Anybody else? Go for it.
You're mentioning signs. How many signs do you anticipate having? Because the township does have an ordinance, where they do charge you per sign. So
But,
I didn't know if you were aware of that.
Like those signs, see, I'm not an expert. The signs that I've shown you, the slide with R&R, 5 points location, they have tons of signs. These are the signs that I'm implying, meaning potatoes, 5 pounds, $1. That's the sign. Or sale of pumpkins, 1 pumpkin, whatever price. So these are the signs. I'm not sure, will I be charged for each sign? That's what you're implying?
That would be up to L&I, but yes, I believe so, if there are certain size and fit a certain standard.
Can you go back and with the slides? Because like I said, I don't think this is happening with R&R. This is the place, R&R, right there, 5 points, 5 minutes from here. So they have all kinds of different signs. So that's what I'm defining by sign. But this is something that information that will be displayed. So it's not gonna be neon signs or illuminated signs, whatever signs we could be talking about. This is just real paper or plastic signs that will be put up and taken down.
Bo, are they subject to the sign fee? I know you might have to ask, but I believe they are.
Yes, they would be. So, let me ask you, what type of, when you say signs, are you literally trying to mimic R&R as in these types of signs? As you're gonna have them
Exactly.
all over the property?
Not all over, only 2 locations. On this wagon that I already described, the small wagon that I have, it has several faces. So that's where 1 location and location in the back, and that's it.
So, when you describe temporary signs, you plan on changing these?
Yes.
Periodically all
Yes.
the time? Okay. Yeah, we would have to discuss that, Colleen. But yes, you would be subject to those fees for this sign. You also have, as depicted here in this photo that you have, because Georgine's Junior used to have a actual permanent sign.
We do have, yes.
You had that sign to where you were able to put information on that sign as well then.
No, we're not putting anything on it. It's in, we don't.
You could if you wanted to.
Um,
I mean, I'm staring at Georgine's Junior sign currently, how it was, and it had information on it. I'm saying if you needed to, you could put information on that. Exactly how R&R does and how they change theirs.
What do you mean, underneath? No, we don't intend to do this. This is old style. Next thing, if we do decide, probably we'll do a display, I mean, some kind of a display, electronic display. So that would be in the future. But for the moment, no. We don't intend to touch whatever is in place right now as it is. The only thing, as I said, I don't believe that somebody would be paying for annuals and veggie plants sign for 99 cents, whatever amount to have that sign up.
Yeah, I would honestly, I would need to check.
Please, I mean, this is it's essential.
Yeah. I do, Colleen, sorry for the question, but I have multiple questions as well.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead,
You,
Kyle.
you know what? You might ask mine, go right ahead.
So you said on the property here, and I was at your location before this meeting.
Right.
Okay, the things you're looking to store, you speak of plants, pumpkins, things of that nature, you even showed a picture of mulch. While I was there today, you had that smoker, okay, that's gonna need to go.
It will go.
Approved, okay?
You have my word on
But
this,
you
yeah.
also have out there tables and chairs.
That's what we've taken outside, that will also go. But we would, at disassembling them, we will take them to the scrapyard, yeah.
And you have a large quantity of barrels or tubes, not sure what you're storing in them or if they were already on the property, but they would need to go. So basically, all of the outside storage that
It
you
will
have-
go, except, yes.
You can't talk on top of him.
Apologies, sorry.
So basically, all the outside.
All of the outside storage that you have, that is not what you're requesting, which would be your flowers and things of that nature, that would all need to be removed.
Okay.
You also have a large quantity of two-by-fours and two-by-sixes out there. It seems you're about to do construction or
I
erect
have-
outside the building. That you can store there, but you would need to get your approvals first and your permits, things of that nature.
It's done, I have it already.
Okay. As for the parking spaces, as when I was there, you're taking up the only handicap parking spaces in the parking lot with what you are covering.
The spaces will be realigned and repainted. So we'll have a designated area for handicap and so forth. Those are the old, yeah, good point, yes.
I'm looking at the old Georgine, it seems that they had two handicap spots. I know this middle area of what you're referring to, that's where you're looking to store
Correct.
your items. So would you have, you're gonna have people walking in and out of the parking lot getting to these locations? Obviously, if this is where you need to store it, is that your sole locations where you can store these?
Correct, for sale, yes.
And it wouldn't be able or beneficial to put them anywhere else on the property for outdoor storage?
Well, these will not be stored. These will be stored and for resale, because customers, it's similar what you have at, let's say, Lowe's or Home Depot. It's stacked on a,
I understand what you're saying, but also Lowe's and Home Depot, you don't cut their parking lot to grab your items. You park in a parking lot and walk inside, and then they have connected to a garden center or something of that nature. You're not parking over in lot 28, walking in the store, walking out of the store through the parking lot to get to your location. So if you do say the Home Depot and the Lowe's, I'm not totally understanding where you're coming from with that, because I have never been to a Home Depot or Lowe's that has outdoor storage in the middle of the parking lot.
Well, this is not in the middle. For us, it's not, it's a front of the building. And this is an area where, physically, we have a cart, we can deliver, hand deliver to the customer. And again, we're not serving 10 customers at once or 20 customers at once. It's a small business. We're catering to specific needs, individual customers. And, in terms of safety, this is also my priority. We'll have designated spaces for handicap, so it's easily accessible, because even those two spaces you're referring to, they're further away, because they're also, for customers with disabilities, they would have to roll back on the street in order to go to the store, because the entrance is not from the front of the building, from the side of the building. So my goal is to have handicap space right in front of the main entrance. So this is like, this is easy. I've seen millions of parking spaces. And I think this is my goal to accomplish, so it's safe and accessible, as easy as it possibly can be.
So if you were deemed approved tonight, that location, you would solely stick to that front location?
Correct.
You wouldn't be willing to move it anywhere else on the
There's
property?
nowhere to put it, because we have, as I said, cars are entering, the egress and regress is on different sides. So cars are coming, let's say, in one entrance and exiting on the other. I don't know how to properly say this, but, so there is no really interference. There is no very easy access, and leaving the property is very convenient. So there is, very little, I would say, issue with traffic, if anything.
One more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Would you be opposed of, and now I'm gonna jump back to R&R. I'm familiar with that place as well. R&R is very fenced off, they're very secure, okay?
I'm not opposed to it, but this would be, I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but aesthetically, it wouldn't be appealing to customers. Because our R&R, as I said, I drove by, it's beautiful, I like this, but I don't intend to put the fences.
And I was just referring, because you keep referring to R&R, but that's exactly what they have.
I don't know why, because actually their location is a bit of a challenge, because it's a 5 points. For us, it's straight shot, and we have awesome neighbors on both sides. People are very supportive, and we see it, as I said, we're not creating hassle, we are opening an opportunity for our neighbors as well, because we've seen a lot of customers coming from Blondies as well as from Taxes coming over to get produce, or at least the flowers and plants.
Last thing, and before the board can move on, if you were deemed approved tonight, we would hopefully make it put it in the record as everything that would need to be cleared out before you do start operations.
Okay.
No, you already are, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, that would all need to be cleared out before you do officially open.
I will definitely, this is my responsibility to do that. As I said, we'll do it as recommended.
Okay. Is there any other structures on the property?
No.
No sheds, no trailers, no,
No, this is just temporary stuff that we have in the back that you've probably
Right.
seen. Everything will go. There's nothing in it. So we'll just,
so what exactly do you keep inside the store? That, I mean, you seem to be bringing like flowers out that need shade and gonna need canopies and temporary tents and so they can stay in the shade. What is in the actual store itself?
peppers, tomatoes,
Okay,
and groceries, and bread, chips,
Okay.
many other things.
okay.
So that's basically the, outside, because as I referred to my previous job, I worked outside mostly. So I kind of believe, and from experience, I think customers relate when you can assist them in a life situation and so forth. Because inside the store, usually people are hiding behind the rows. They get the stuff, they leave. It's okay maybe for big places, for big stores. I would like to make it more personable. Maybe it's still, I would say, outdated, or maybe already outdated, but this is something they would like to do. But yes, we have plenty of space inside, but there will be more for like a produce, as I mentioned, that cannot be outside, and groceries.
Gerard?
Bo, do you know what the setback is for the state road for signs and whatever?
I'll just get that answer for you, but I would.
Yeah, the setback might be a problem. Parking spots, how many does he really need?
So the parking spots alone, I talked to the zoning officer, he said there's no issue with the parking spots.
But how many does he need, do you know?
Not add any more.
Can he subtract?
In a sense, yes, but.
'Cause my thoughts are, like, I used to go there every day for lunch, but my thoughts are, if you're facing your building, you pull on the right side. If you were to lose all those parking spots on the right side, put your bulk, mulch, stone, whatever you wanna do, all your bulk bags of stuff that you have on skids. If you put all that on that one side, which will be nice, make it easier for fire trucks, emergency people, customers that drive around. If your customer's pulling on the right side, you can drive around and easily park on that 45-degree angle, or whatever the angle is, on the left side. Easy to park over there. And you can add your handicap parking spot right by the side door. What else do I have down here? Parking spots, eliminate, setback. Housekeeping's a little rough, you got skids laying all over the place. When I drove through there today, I know you had the one lane blocked off, only because you don't want people driving in yet.
Yeah, at
So
the
I
moment,
get that, that'll
correct.
be opened. But that's just my thoughts as a business person. Put all that mulch up front where people can see it, this mulch, stone, dirt, whatever topsoil. Just like Beaches has right up front there, they have it all lined up nice, rock salt when it comes time, you put rock salt out there. All that seasonal stuff you can put over there. Also, you can put all your seasonal stuff out there, you got your hay bales, you got your straw for October, whatever, all that stuff you can put out that side. Keep it away from the very front of the building, but you can still see it. I'm not really opposed to you blocking off the front of your building where there's handicap parking and all that is, that's my point of view. to put some of your flowers and stuff there. But flowers are supposed to be out in the sunlight, they are supposed to be out there, you just gotta keep them wet. You know, I get it that you're gonna have Easter flowers, you're gonna have Christmas trees, and Christmas trees could go all down that side also. Now, in the back of your building, you have a fence back there, I see in a gate, what's behind the fence?
There's a little
Just
bit of-
storage?
Just storage, yeah.
All right, can you go back to the sign, you had their temporary signs? I had a hard time saying that, so I see, on your right there, go back. On your right there, where the dumpster is, where is that?
It's, well,
Is it in the front of the building?
no, it's in the back, it's in the rear. of the
Okay, because it
building.
looks like it's in the front of the building.
No, it's in the rear of the building. As you drove in
I know,
today,
yeah.
you drove.
So that's in the back of the building?
beside- Yeah, correct.
I thought you wanted to put that up
No,
front.
no, God forbid, no.
Yeah, no, okay. As long as that's in the back of the building.
Yeah.
But there are my thoughts about, on the right-hand side, you know, maybe get rid of some parking
I
spots.
thought of this,
Pardon me?
if I may, I thought of this, because, you know, I think the next door neighbor would be opposed to this. As I said, I would like to make it appealing, next door neighbor, meaning we
Yeah,
have.
but why would they be opposed to it? They're on
well,
skids, they're nice looking, they're organized.
You know, I know it's nuisance, for example, I mean, you blocking X number of spaces with products.
Yeah,
In our case, what we thought would be just one corner all the way in the back, still a little bit visible, but not interfering
well, the
with
back will
anybody.
be fine too, but I thought you wanted people to see them.
Yeah, well, true, but not to the extent that, because I have, like, as you've seen, 3 skids of mulch or whatever. So that's nice, but, you know, one is sufficient. So I can put something else, you know. This is like idea of having it away from customer as possible, because we don't want people go and try to do things there. At the same time, we would like them to see this. And that angle is convenient because, as I said, there is plenty of room when fire truck goes around easily, or dump,
Trash truck.
a trash truck, everything else, it's easy access. And plus, you know, safety. I think in my view, you know, it's easier when somebody just zips through and it doesn't bother with anybody, as opposed to if they driving and looking to the right and potentially can hit somebody. It's better when you look straight forward, and then you avoid all kinds of issues. And
So
for
you're
that, as I
thinking
said,
about eliminating the parking on the right, is that what
I
you're
don't
saying?
want it. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, we don't think this is appropriate, because, as I said, we don't really need that much parking space. But at the same time, in case we need it for whatever reason, access or whatever it is, or clean the area nice and neat, because when you look from the street, it's just, you know, one row, easy.
Yeah.
Because that frontage is not interfering, where we have flowers, not interfering with anything. It's basically extension of the building. But I will take a look, second look on this. But honestly, you know, we thought aesthetically it's the most appealing to what it is right now.
My concerns is just the handicap parking majorly. Clear roadway to get around the building, yeah, that's a major thing.
Yeah.
And not so much stuff up front. You know, I think you might be over your road frontage, because there is a setback. The state has a setback. You might be overimposed on that, so
Over with,
you might be too close to the road. There is a setback. It might be like 40, 50 feet, you know, from the center of the street. I don't know what the setback is.
okay. We can check. I mean, it's.
If you look at
it's
most of your
plenty
neighbors,
space.
you'll probably see, you know, their signs and that's it. Nothing in front of it. But there is a setback. If you look at Blonder's next door to you, you'll see where his sign is. I think that's a setback.
But what's our authority on the state setback? Do we have any?
We have no jurisdiction over the state authority, obviously, but
Right.
we have jurisdiction on where we approve our signs.
Okay,
So where he would apply for that sign,
Right.
we have our own setback.
okay. Okay. So sign setbacks.
Yeah, my concerns are the sign setback and nothing in front of it. And, handicap parking, which he has to have anyways. And a clear vision to drive completely around the building without a problem. That's what I'm saying.
Colleen?
The building previously had a kitchen, I'm not sure if it still does now, but do you intend on cooking there?
Correct.
So, yes?
Yes.
Have you gotten the proper permits from the Water Wastewater Authority that services your building?
Yes, everything, we're just waiting for the Department of Health, for the final inspection, just preparing for that.
But there is still one that you would need from your water wastewater provider. If you have a commercial kitchen, you would need to have a substantial grease trap and permits that follow with that and get annual testing.
It's
that?
over, yeah, we will abide by that, yes.
The mulch and topsoil, that'll remain in bags, not open? if
Correct.
Approved?
Yes.
What are your hours of operation or anticipated hours?
From 8 to 5, that is the hours.
That Monday through Sunday?
Correct.
Like, how many employees will you be having?
For the moment, it's just, as I mentioned, it's a family business, so we, as we expand, potentially, we anticipating maybe about 8 employees altogether.
So 8 employees, that would totally eliminate your parking spaces essentially, so where would you anticipate that they would park at that point?
Well, it's not full-time employees. We don't anticipate having full-time employees.
So you
Usually
won't have 8 ever at the same time working in there?
No. It's, this business, you really don't need full-time employees, because,
Full-time or not, 8 employees, you could have 16 part-time and have 8 there all at once, and still not have full-time employees. So my question is, will you have more than 8 employees at one given time?
It's difficult to estimate. I really cannot tell this. At the moment, we have 3 family members working there, so I don't think we're gonna have 8 anytime soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Say a negative. All right. So, that being said, I believe if the board decides to approve this application, that there has to be several conditions applied to this before it goes any further. Does anybody disagree with that assessment?
I agree with it.
Okay. So, the smoker's gotta be removed. Condition, tables and chairs gotta be good. Handicap spots, gotta be done, right? Sign setback, state sign setback. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on, right? Anybody else that can think of anything that I missed?
There would have to be a determined number of signs, so Bo's not out there and his team going out there every week saying they have another sign, and because you could say you want 4 and then have 500 the next week.
At some point, have you sat down with Elle and I to ask these questions, or no?
I did ask because, as I said, I made that reference to a location at 5 Points.
Right.
And they simply stated that the place operates for ages. It's been there forever.
Right.
That's the answer. And I don't believe that they are paying for each individual sign that they put up. That's totally.
Well,
That's what I received from LNI.
We're not here to determine that. If it's an ordinance, it's an ordinance. I don't know if R&R is paying. At this point, I don't really care.
So they told me that to go in front of you, so
Right.
so you review this and so forth.
So, the conditions that are in front of you at this point, I mean, what's your feelings on all the conditions that we just raised that had to be taken care of?
It's easy. I mean, we are not actively selling. We are not operating just yet, fully operating.
Right.
So items on the outside will go away in a matter of days, couple of days, it's gone. If I can ask for at least a month for the smoker, because, it's, as I said, I I don't want to give it away for nothing. You know, it would be the same thing, you know. Parking space for handicapped, as I described, in my view, and assessment that I received from others, so convenience of having a handicap space in front of the entrance is paramount, because, you know, the property itself sits a little bit over elevation, and those spaces on angle that are currently viewed as
So previously, there's 2 handicap spots there.
right there, on the right-hand side in front of the building.
So you're gonna take them up with your storage and stuff like that?
Correct.
So-
Instead,
So Bob, does he have to put 2 handicap spots back? Does that? Okay. Right, so him putting them handicap spots now, the handicap spots are bigger than the regular parking spots, is that gonna change his parking at any point? Is that gonna change his?
Could be, I mean, with them being larger, because what you have now, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So looking at the property, you only have the handicap in the front, right? The right and the left side are just regular parking spots. So when you were saying the access point for customers staring at your building, you're saying they're to the west side, the left side of the property?
to the right side, to the right side,
Right side.
yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that you would wish to add them over there?
In front of the main entrance, because the entrance is on that side, yes.
With your restriping, everything that you would need to do, most likely, I mean, you could be losing the space as well.
Right.
So you could be losing the.
So he may need a-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 handicaps, so 8, and then possibly 1 with the restriping.
So he possibly could need a parking variance once he restructures the park.
He has a whole other side too.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Gerard?
The whole left side has probably 10 parking spots, maybe. How many?
I mean, the way I'm reading this, looking at 12 or 13, I believe.
Yeah, that's on the left side.
Yeah, the left side, the right side has much more than that.
There are more parking spaces that I potentially could even,
As I spoke to the zoning officer this afternoon, he said that parking would not be an issue as long as we had the handicap spots
Okay.
available. So if you were to lose a spot with them increasing on the right side or the left side, I don't think that should be an issue.
I mean, as far as the tents go, I don't know how you know, fix that, justify it. I mean, I don't know how you can. Take that away.
If I may, what you're looking for pop-up tents? Such as
Like-
like a white.
that's right,
fence,
just,
tent
yeah,
that you pull out the sides.
correct.
But you're looking to anchor them and have them be permanent structures, or are you saying?
Anchor is like temporary with the whatever respective nails, whatever there is, they're sold with the respective nails, so you anchor them to the asphalt. So they're not moving, so that's all it is. It's not, no special, need for that. Or, there are those, right there on the picture, we have a sandbags or, so that's another option. So this doesn't have to be anchored, but they are sold with the respective items to be anchored in case of wind and things like that. Others are,
Anticipate them being up year-round?
no. Because, you know, they're gonna get blown away in whatever time, in the winter time and stuff. So this is just a temporary.
So anchoring them to concrete base is not temporary, in my eyes. I mean, I could be totally
I don't
wrong.
have to,
But-
if it's the case, I'm just gonna use the sandbags.
I'm not a big fan of tents. They're temporary. They blow, look at parties, they blow all over the place. I'm just not a big fan of the tents. I have an issue with that. Also, back to your sign, just so you know, at my business, I had a sign right out in front of my business that said inspection emissions, whatever, $59.95, and on both sides. Township was gonna charge me, I think, $100 a side, so it's gonna cost me $200 a year for that sign. I got rid of the sign, you know, I didn't wanna pay the $200. Any sign that you're advertising your business, they're gonna probably tax you or give you a permit for. You know, I have one sign at my shop that says, you know, Lycan Automotive. I pay for that every year, 150 or whatever it is. And my other signs are just directions, you know, like oil change and this and that. I'm not selling nothing. I'm just adding, you know, where you go to get it done. But anything you're selling, you put a price on or selling or whatever, that's advertising. So you just watch your signs.
I will pursue with the L and I mean, if it need to be,
I think at this point, we're just trying to get to a place where this is gonna work for the township, and it's gonna work for you.
We do want you there.
Do I know where that happy medium is? No, I'm gonna be quite honest with you, I don't know, but it's not totally up to me, so I think, yeah, Bo.
I was gonna say, if this were to be approved tonight, we could set up with the zoning officer, myself, whoever the case may be, and we could go over your signage. I don't think the signage right now is the number one priority. I
Right.
think signs, obviously you're going to have signs where no one would know what your business is. No matter what, you are going to have signs. It's just the fact of the quantity and how many we have. So that could be something that we can set up at a later date if we would like to put
Okay.
that in. That could be something that we could set up and we
Okay.
can go over on what you want from me.
okay.
Fair enough, right? Okay,
So, I have a question.
go ahead.
Well, we can conditionally approve it and they don't see eye to eye, then it's denied?
I think that if that was gonna, I think you can conditionally. Respectfully, we don't know what we're approving, because he doesn't have the actual formal plan.
That's what I was
So,
asking.
yeah, I think that if you conditionally approve it, I think that would have to be something that Ellen and I would have to be able to live with and approve. So that would be a condition of, quote, the motion. Condition upon Ellen and I approval regarding placement of signage, if that's the issue you guys are
Parking,
talking about.
signage, tents.
You know, securing of, however you wanna phrase it, but I definitely think you can approve it because the plan here today is a generalized idea as to
Right.
how he wants to do it, but it still needs to be finalized and approved by L and I, following through.
Okay. Okay. Everybody clear with that?
Yes.
Okay. I also think the other conditions that were brought up earlier had to be addressed also. So I need a motion to approve or deny on, if we approve it on the placement of the signs approved by Bristol Township L and I. Also, the condition of smoker being removed, a month. Fair enough. Is that good, Bo? Yes. Okay. Tables, chairs, that Bo spoke of, gone. Handicap spots, taken care of. All right? And then, I think that's everything. All right? Go ahead.
So I just want to make this clear for the record. So are we approving the outside storage in a specific location for the board? Because I think we need to deem that where it is going to be approved.
That's why I asked that question. If I don't, unfortunately, sir, we don't have a clear-cut vision of what you have. You may have it mentally, but we can't see what you want to do based on what has been provided. That's why we have so many questions. Because to me, I would think that the tents would be taking up parking spaces from the way that I look at the layout of the property. So that's why we have so many questions about the tents, the parking. I can't say where he's gonna put those tents. How many tents are there? How big are they? How big is the barrier that's gonna be around there? Cause they could essentially take up 2 other parking spaces, so there's too many questions when it comes to those.
I
agree, and
No.
I think at this time, I mean, it seemed that if you were to come and say that I'm gonna designate this certain area, this is where I want it. So but a bunch of things were thrown around now to where I'm even a little bit confused on where you're presenting it, that everything's because I heard to the right, I heard the rear, but then I thought the main point was going to be the front. So I think you had a clear spot on where you wish to
No, that's kind of what I was getting at. There's and Colleen said, and there's a lot going on here. And listen, we want, Bristol Township wants people to start businesses and everything. We're not trying to be, hard ass, but we're trying to figure this out where everybody's in agreement. You know what I'm saying? My suggestion is maybe, I don't want to continue this.
If I may, I don't understand why, we have two gentlemen that drove by today.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, and I described only several items where they will be located. Two things in terms of advertising, in the front and in the back, specifically pictures depicting that right there. Same thing as far as storage, one corner on the right-hand side as you enter, in the back, that are not interfering with anything else. I have a few skids there, 3 or 4 skids. That's all I need. This is one area, which is not the parking space. It's an empty area that is not taking any space from parking or driveway. That's all. Whatever you've seen in the back, in a already secluded area, smoker will go. Tables will go. It's all temporary. I'm not operating right now.
So are you presenting then the frontage for the handicap area and those other parking spots? You're presenting to the board right now the front area there and then the back right location for your mulch and
That's all.
other items.
That's
Is that
all.
what you're presenting?
That's right. There's nothing else. I don't know. You've been there. This is, to me, it's really, maybe my accent or whatever, you guys don't understand, but this is like simple as today.
It has nothing to do with that, sir. We just all want to be on the same page and understand exactly where these items are going. And so as we just clarified, I believe for the board, you're looking for the front, middle area, and the rear right.
Just a little bit rear right. That's all it is.
You gotta understand, we showed up today, okay? I would've showed up Sunday, but I was away. We showed up today and I'm zigzagging through your parking lot because it's kind of all blocked off, okay? I see things I didn't like, okay? If you're coming in front of zoning today, you should have did your homework, had stuff looking really sweet, okay? I get you're opening up the place, and I get you're setting it up, but you knew for over a month that you're coming here today. So I would have really crossed my T's and dotted my I's, okay? Right now, I get it, you're trying to do everything yourself, trying to save money, whatever, but kind of looked a little messy, It looked a little messy.
Mr. Lincoln,
Yes.
as I described to you when we.
I like what you had to say,
We simply closed off the area. I cannot operate just yet. I cannot let people go in the back. So I'm not operational yet.
Yep.
So for that, you were not able to get through, but you did.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and I'm glad you did, because I explained to you where we stand. It's a small business. I mean, how do you operate? You have 10 people to operate your business. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Well. So on
I am a
condition-
son of an immigrant. I'm trying to make a living in this
I
country.
think
I'm
you're getting I think you're
American.
getting the wrong impression of this
Yeah.
board at this point. I really, really do. I had to correct you on that. I think we're just trying to get some questions answered, and that's all we're doing.
And I appreciate that.
So, well, I really don't think you do.
I honestly do, and that's the reason I'm here today. And I prepared for this, and I've been working hard to make this appearance as well.
Okay. Well, all right, let's make a motion.
I would like to make this motion, okay. To start, I'd like to make the motion to approve this as long as we're okay on the setback on the signs. Everything's okay with L and I. The smoker's gone in 30 days. The tables and chairs are gonna be gone within 30 days. We'll add that in there. HC spot, handicap spots. No tents. Storage is to be put right in the front of the building where the handicap parking and a couple parking spots are. And also in the back right, you'll have storage. Roadways to be left open all the way around, so you could drive all the way around with a fire truck, emergency vehicles, or cars. I would like to make a motion for that.
I'll second Gerard's motion as, with the conditions.
Do you agree to them conditions?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay. Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon. Yes. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
That was the first time we did a motion like that.
Well, thank you for taking your time. Honestly,
We want you, we just want to make,
this,
we
my,
have a lot of unanswered questions. We do
my,
want you.
my goal, again, is, as I described earlier, is like fairy tale, because I'm an immigrant. I came to this country and I want to make it happen, not for myself.
Now, your business.
That's it. You don't have to,
The immigrant has nothing
it has nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Honestly, what can I say? It's difficult. It's a different type of business. But
Well, listen, you're, at some point, you're gonna call.
We will reach out, sir. We will reach out, we will set up a meeting with you.
Thank you.
Most likely it will be next week. I will say that, the meeting, but in that timeframe, I suggest we start on the rear and start getting everything cleaned up.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Those opposed?